Sometimes the weekend feels heavier now than any workday ever did. The quiet comes in early, and it stays. You wake up and know there is nowhere you have to be, no reason to hurry, no one waiting. At first, that kind of freedom may have sounded peaceful, but now it can feel like a long hallway with no doors. Saturday morning arrives and something inside you sinks a little, not because anything terrible happened, just because nothing is happening. That feeling can be hard to explain. It is not always sharp pain. Sometimes it is just a dull ache. You may look around your home and feel how still everything is. The rooms seem larger on weekends. The clock moves slowly when you are not looking forward to anything. Even the light through the window can feel quiet. You make coffee or tea and stand there for a moment. The cup is warm, but the house feels cold. You may glance at your phone without thinking. No message, no call, no little sign that someone thought of you. You tell yourself it is fine. You tell yourself everyone is busy. Still, something inside you goes silent. Weekends can bring back feelings you manage better during the week. During the week, there are little tasks. There is laundry to fold, a bill to pay, a small errand, a doctor call, a trip to the store. But weekends are different. They used to mean something. They used to carry a shape and a purpose. Maybe Saturday once meant family breakfast, mowing the lawn, ball games, church plans, or dinner with someone you loved. Maybe Sunday once meant dressing up, driving somewhere, hearing voices, sitting close to people who knew your name. Now those old rhythms may be gone. And when rhythm leaves, emptiness becomes louder than it should. You may feel this most in the late morning, that time when the whole day stretches out too wide. Or maybe it hits you in the evening, when the sky gets darker and the silence becomes harder to ignore. Sometimes the hardest part is not sadness itself, it is how ordinary the sadness looks from the outside. No one sees you standing in the kitchen too long. No one hears the sigh you did not mean to let out. No one notices that weekends now feel like something to get through. That can make the ache even deeper. If this sounds familiar, stay here with me a little longer. You do not need to fix anything right now. You only need to recognize what is true in your own heart. Sometimes naming it is the first relief. Maybe you wake up on Saturday and leave the television on for company, not because you care what is playing. Maybe you sit in your chair and flip through channels. The sound fills the room, but not the emptiness. Maybe you open the refrigerator more than once, not because you are hungry, but because you need a reason to move. Maybe you look out the window and watch cars pass. Other lives seem to be going somewhere. You may think about calling someone. Then you stop yourself. You do not want to interrupt their day. You may wait for a call instead. You hope the phone rings. You try not to hope too much. Sometimes family loves you and still does not realize how long your weekends feel. That truth can hurt. Children grow into busy lives. Grandchildren have school, sports, jobs, and plans. The world keeps moving very fast. Friends move away, get sick, stop driving, or slowly disappear from regular life. One by one, the circle gets smaller. If you've lost a husband or wife, weekends can feel especially cruel. They used to hold shared habits. Even small things can break your heart a little. An empty chair, a quiet breakfast, a show you once watched together. Retirement changes more than your schedule. It changes how the week feels inside your body. For years, weekdays had structure. Weekends had contrast. One made the other meaningful. Together, they gave life a pattern. When work ends, that pattern can collapse without warning. The days can start blending into each other. And strangely, weekends can hurt more because they still carry old meaning. Your heart remembers what they used to be. That is why the emptiness can feel so personal. It is not laziness. It is not weakness. It is not because there is something wrong with you. It is because your life changed and your heart noticed. You lived through years of purpose, responsibility, and connection. Your mind still reaches for those familiar anchors. When they are no longer there, your spirit can feel unsteady, like a room after furniture has been removed. Health can also make weekends harder than they used to be. Going out may take more energy now. Driving may feel stressful. Walking may feel harder, crowds may be tiring, even simple plans can seem like a lot. So you stay home more often. And sometimes staying home protects you, but sometimes it also deepens the quiet. There may be moments when you feel forgotten, not because nobody loves you, but because nobody sees this hour. There may be times when you feel left behind. The world is busy making plans that do not include you. That feeling can settle deep in the chest, not dramatic, just heavy, just there. You may remember a time when weekends were full of noise, shoes by the door, laughter from another room, someone asking what is for dinner, someone needing a ride, someone sitting beside you without saying a word. Back then, you may have wished for more peace. Now, too much peace can feel like loss. That is one of the strangest parts of growing older. The thing you once wanted can become painful. You may carry all of this quietly. You may smile when someone asks how you are doing. You may say, "Oh, I'm fine," and maybe part of you means it. But not all of you, because there are hours no one sees, hours when you miss being expected somewhere, hours when you miss hearing your name spoken in a natural way, hours when you miss mattering in daily life. There is deep pain in wanting to reach out and then stopping yourself. That silence can feel very lonely. You may think they have their own lives, or I do not want to be a burden. So you sit with your feelings instead of sharing them. And after a while, that becomes a habit. If you want, ask yourself something gently right now. When does the weekend feel the hardest for you? Is it the first quiet morning? Is it the empty afternoon? Is it when evening starts to fall? There is no wrong answer. Your heart usually knows exactly where they eclipse. And maybe another question matters too. What do you miss most when the weekend feels empty? Is it company? Is it purpose? Is it being remembered? Is it the old version of your life? Sometimes it is not one thing. Sometimes it is 1,000 little absences sitting quietly in one room. If that is what you have been carrying, I want you to hear this clearly. Your feelings make sense. You are not being too sensitive. You are not failing at retirement. You are responding to real change. And even though this feeling is painful, it does not mean life is over. It does not mean warmth is gone forever. Hope does not always arrive as a big new beginning. Sometimes it comes as one small thing that softens a day. Sometimes hope is one phone call you decide to make. Sometimes it is one place you choose to go. Sometimes hope is simply telling yourself the truth. This weekend feels hard and I deserve kindness inside it. That matters more than you may think, because when you stop fighting your own feelings, your heart can breathe again. One gentle step can help. Name the feeling honestly when it comes. Not with shame, not with drama, just simply, this is loneliness, this is missing, this is emptiness. When you name it, you stop treating it like a personal failure. You begin to see it as a human feeling. That small change can remove some of the weight. You are no longer confused by what hurts. Another helpful step is to notice your hardest window of time. Most empty weekends have a pattern. Maybe it is Saturday after breakfast. Maybe it is Sunday after lunch. Maybe it is both evenings. Once you notice the pattern, you can care for that hour on purpose. That is not silly. That is wisdom. You might plan one kind thing for that exact time, a walk, a favorite meal, a drive, a visit. You might listen to music that comforts you instead of music that deepens old pain. You might sit outside. You might call one person before the ache gets too strong. Not 5 people, just one. You do not have to sound cheerful or clever. You can simply say, I wanted to hear a friendly voice. That is not bothering someone. That is reaching for connection, which every human heart needs. Another quiet step is to build one weekend routine that belongs only to you, something simple and steady. It could be pancakes on Saturday morning, a morning prayer, a trip for fresh bread, a puzzle by the window. It could be writing a few lines in a notebook, not a diary, just a place for your thoughts. A small routine gives shape back to the day. It tells your heart this time still belongs to you. That matters after retirement because shape is often what disappears first. Without shape, the mind drifts into emptiness. A fourth gentle step is to protect your self-worth on silent days. Silence can lie to you. It can whisper that you are less important now. It can whisper that your best years are the only years. But silence is not truth. A quiet phone does not measure your value. An empty calendar does not erase your life. You are still a whole person on a silent Saturday. You are still worthy when nobody knocks on the door. You are still needed in ways that may not be obvious in one lonely hour. Your presence still matters. Another thing that can help is letting yourself receive comfort without guilt. Comfort is not weakness. A good meal helps. Fresh air helps. Clean sheets help. Sunlight helps. A kind voice helps. Sometimes older hearts have spent so many years caring for others that receiving feels strange. But you are allowed. You are allowed to create a soft day for yourself. You are allowed to make things easier. You are allowed to choose company, even if that company comes from a neighbor, a church group, or a local class. You are allowed to begin again socially in a smaller, quieter way. It does not have to look impressive. It only has to feel real. One sincere connection can do more than a full room of noise. And if getting out is hard, then bring life closer. Open the curtains, step onto the porch, wave at someone passing by, sit where the light reaches you. Let the world touch you a little. Sometimes the heart needs motion more than solutions. Even moving from one room to another can change a heavy mood. If faith is part of your life, weekends may also feel empty because they stir deep memory. A church pew, a shared prayer, a familiar hand beside yours, those memories can comfort and wound at once. If you carry grief like that, be gentle with yourself. Love does not disappear just because the room is quiet. You're missing someone is proof that something precious was real. That kind of love still lives in you. And if your weekends feel empty because work once gave you identity, that pain is real too. Work was never just a paycheck. It was rhythm. It was place. It was being counted on. So if part of you still misses being useful, hear this with care. You did not stop mattering when you retired. Usefulness can change shape. It can be a kind call, a handwritten note, a meal shared, a story told. It can be showing up for one small thing with your whole heart. Meaning does not need a time card. You may not believe that every weekend. That is all right. Belief can return slowly. What matters is that you do not treat yourself like you are already finished. You are not finished. Your life may be quieter now, but quiet is not the same as empty. Quiet can still hold warmth. Quiet can still hold memory, dignity, prayer, laughter, and new habits that fit the life you have now. And on the days when the emptiness wins for a while, that does not mean you have gone backward. It means you are human. It means some days are heavier than others. That is true at every age. Please remember this part because it matters deeply. You are not invisible. You are not a burden for needing contact. You are not too old to be understood. You are not weak because weekends hurt sometimes. You are not strange for missing what life used to hold. And you are not alone in this feeling, even if your house is quiet right now. There are many private hearts carrying this same kind of silence. That does not erase your pain, but it does mean your pain belongs to the human story. There's nothing shameful about it. So when this weekend comes, try not to judge yourself for what you feel. Meet yourself with kindness instead. Make the coffee. Open the curtains. Step outside if you can. Call someone if one name comes to mind. Put one good thing into the day before the emptiness fills every corner. Small acts matter more than they seem. And if all you can do is sit quietly and breathe through the lonely hour, that counts too. You do not have to earn your own compassion. You already deserve it. Maybe next weekend will still feel a little empty, but maybe it will not feel quite as empty. Maybe 1 hour will soften. Maybe one moment will surprise you. Maybe your heart will feel less alone. That is how change often begins now. Not loudly, not all at once, just gently. So tonight or tomorrow morning, be a little softer with yourself. You have carried a lot with dignity. You have lived through love, work, loss, routine, change, and years that shaped you deeply. Of course, your weekends feel different now. Of course, your heart notices. Of course, some days ache. But your life still has room for comfort. It still has room for meaning. It still has room for connection. And if this message felt like it was speaking right to your heart, I am glad you stayed. If you want, you can leave a simple comment and share what part of the weekend feels hardest. And if you would like more gentle messages like this, you can like this video and subscribe. Most of all, take good care of yourself this weekend. You matter more than silence may have told you.